It's about time the Red Sox get this done. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Red Seat Radio. My name is Corbin. Thank you very much for clicking on this video. We got a pretty exciting second video of the day here, folks. If you haven't checked out the first one, we're talking about the new top prospects in the Red Sox system. But in this video specifically, we're going over something we've been kind of begging the Red Sox to do for a little bit now, which is simply switch up this bullpen a little bit. Get someone up here that can help with those middle innings. That's exactly what they did. And originally, we were actually going to finish this video off by talking about the new jersey unveiling, and maybe we could do that in another video, but some other news came to light just after Nick Burdi was announced that could have a major impact on two very big pieces of the future of the Boston Red Sox, so we're going to talk about that instead. But first, let's start with the actual move itself, because the first thing you need to know about it is that Nick Burdi will be joining this Red Sox team. And like I said before the intro, it's about damn time. This dude has literally been a bullpen ace in AAA to start this season. In 16 2/3 innings across 13 games so far this year, Burdi is currently rocking a 0.54 ERA, which is just 1 earned runs allowed. And the last time he gave up a run on the mound was all the way back in April 17th. That's about a month worth of work here where Nick Burdi has been a lights out reliever for the Worcester Red Sox. I wasn't kidding when I titled this video Bullpen Ace. And it's not just that. He's also striking dudes out with 25 strikeouts in that 16 2/3 inning sample size, leading to a 38.5 strikeout rate. That's pretty well above 1/3 of the batters he's facing right now. Essentially, a little over 1 out of every 3 players that comes to the plate against them is getting sent back right to that bench. And he's walked just 5 dudes across that same amount of time, looking like a 7.7% walk rate. That is about a 5-to-1 strikeout ratio, a very, very fantastic metric. Now, the question really becomes with Nick Burdi is, what is this going to look like at the major league level? Because minor league statistics are fantastic, right? And they can help you provide a glimpse into what a player could look like in MLB. But ultimately, the only thing that's going to decide that is getting innings in Major League Baseball. And Nick Burdi has had some experience in that department, although it's very limited. Between 5 seasons at the Major League level, he has 25 total innings. Really, it's across 8 years. There was 3 years there where he didn't touch a single Major League diamond. So he doesn't have a ton of experience in professional baseball, or I should say at least Major League Baseball. The overall stat line at the Major League level, not exactly fantastic. It's a 6.48 ERA with a 4.16 FIP. But last season, he did get his largest sample size in MLB with a whopping 12 games, and that did look pretty successful. He ended up posting a 1.68 ERA with a much higher 5.44 FIP, in large part due to the fact that he was walking a ton of guys on the mound. If the Red Sox have figured out how to prevent that walk issue, there's a chance he actually looks pretty deadly out there, or at the bare minimum, just simply be a serviceable middle of the bullpen type reliever, right? We don't need this guy to come in and close games for the Red Sox. We just need this guy to be able to get it to Chapman without giving up a run, right? Which has seemed to be something this bullpen has really been struggling to figure out over these last few series. So ultimately, here's why I'm excited about this. 1, this is a dude who's been killing it in AAA. He clearly, statistically, deserves a shot in Major League Baseball. 2, it's switching it up a little bit, right? It was like, we talked about this. I've said this in basically every video for the last 2 weeks. It's been Groundhog Day, right? Where you know what's going to happen in those middle innings. And we've been begging for the Red Sox to just simply do something, try and change something up. If it doesn't work, okay, but at least try something. We can't keep throwing out the same people over and over again and expecting different results here. And finally, the Red Sox actually kind of listened, right? They finally gave us a move that we could sit there and we could say, okay, they're trying to improve this bullpen. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't, but at least they're trying to get someone new in here to try and figure out what the hell's going on with this bullpen. So I am pretty excited about this, mostly because I think he deserved a chance and also because I think the Red Sox needed to do this. Now, obviously, two moves basically needed to be made to get Nick Burdi onto the 26-man roster. The first thing the Red Sox needed to do was they needed to place him on the 40-man roster. That's how things work in Major League Baseball. And in order to do that, the Red Sox ended up transferring Kutter Crawford from the 15-day IL over to the 60-day IL. Now, my original thought, at least bare minimum, just looking at this move itself, was, oh my God, Kutter Crawford had another setback, right? Ah, crap. This means that Kutter Crawford can't physically come back to the Boston Red Sox until the middle of July. If he's getting transferred to the 60-day, it's probably going to be longer than that. That's not exactly the case. The good news here is that they're able to do this and retroactively date it back to when he was first placed on the IL, which was at the very beginning of the season. So this was more just sort of a clerical move, right? There was really no impact on Kutter Crawford's timeline. There was really no impact on what his injury looked like. He could still come back around the same time he was planning originally to come back. Now it's essentially the end of May, early June that Kutter Crawford, the earliest he can come back. And that was sort of his timeline to begin with, right? He was still a pretty decent ways away from getting back to the Boston Red Sox. He is throwing live bullpen sessions down in Fort Myers. He is sort of facing real hitters. Even with that step, once you get him on a rehab assignment, it's still going to take a while, right? It's easily going to be that 20 days that you get when you're rehabbing a player in minor league baseball, mostly because he has not faced legitimate players in a legitimate game yet this season. So there's still a little bit to go with Kutter, and I guess this move makes sense. What I am kind of surprised by is that they didn't just simply transfer Tristan Casas to the 60-day IL. It feels like they're holding on to that spot really hard. It feels like they're sitting there and they're saying, we're waiting for something big to put Tristan Casas on the 60-day, when that would have been, in my opinion, the clear and obvious move, right? Because Tristan certainly is not coming back at all this season. It certainly wouldn't affect his timeline back to the Boston Red Sox. I'm very curious as to who they're holding out that 40-man spot for. I think we're all hoping for the same person, right? Or at least one of the same people here. We'll see kind of when that actually transpires, but eventually Tristan will be placed on the 60-day IL. Either way, in this specific situation, it was Kutter Crawford. The other thing the Red Sox needed to do is they needed to get him on the 26-man roster, right? Obviously, you need to get on the big league roster somehow, and in order to do that, the Boston Red Sox have decided to option Cooper Chrisell down to AAA baseball, and I honestly kind of feel bad for Cooper Chrisell. I mean, this dude, is this the second time this season? I think it is, that he's been called up due to an injury and then never touch a game and then end up back in Worcester. I do kind of understand this, though. I think a lot of people are going to sit there, they're going to say, wait, why not Whitlock or why not Greg Weiser? These guys have been stinking it up. I think when you look at sort of, one, the overall statistics over the course of the season, and two, sort of what the talent level in terms of ceilings could be for these guys in the bullpen versus Cooper Chrisell in the bullpen, I think you'd still take these two guys over Chrisell. The other thing that I think makes sense with this move is the idea of keeping Cooper Chrisell stretched out as a starter, considering the fact that, one, Sean Newcomb, it doesn't feel like he's incredibly long for the Boston Red Sox with this optioning of Cooper Chrisell, and two, the Red Sox rotation hasn't exactly been healthy one singular time this entire season, right? We've never gotten a full healthy Red Sox rotation. We're not going to get it for a while with Tanner Houck now hitting the IL. I think having him in AAA, having him stretched out in case something else happens, which, again, I don't want to put it out there, but doesn't seem like a crazy far-fetched idea for the Red Sox to have happen, is a very smart move. So he gets optioned down, Kutter over to the 60-day, and Nick Burdi up to the 26-man roster. All of it equaling a very exciting move, at least in my opinion. Now, my original plan for this video was to sort of live react to the unveiling of the Red Sox new jerseys, but something happened as I was recording this that I think is much more pertinent to you guys and understanding what the future of the Red Sox is going to look like, and it's this video I'm showing you on the screen right now. This is Kristian Campbell taking some ground balls. Anything stick out to you? It should, because he's currently wearing a first baseman's mitt. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, the Red Sox are currently working Kristian Campbell out at first base. Now, this is an incredibly interesting revelation that has come to pass here for the Boston Red Sox, because if the Red Sox do move Kristian Campbell over to first, things get really interesting really quickly, because then what you could do is, like I talked about earlier, use that Tristan Casas 40-man spot for, hey, Marcelo Mayer. He plays a little infield, right? He plays a little middle infield here. He's been playing some second base, and he's looked pretty good at second base so far this season. That is a legitimate high-impact, high-caliber, big shifting change move that the Red Sox could make to immediately improve this roster. It's something I've seen a whole lot of people begging for on the interwebs, right? Give me Marcelo, give me Roman Anthony, get these kids up here, change something else. Well, you had to make room for him. If Rafi's not going over to first base, someone's got to do it. And I honestly don't hate the idea of Kristian Campbell being that guy. I would prefer him at second base. I think he's more valuable at second base, but this is a dude who's played every single position on the diamond outside of first base throughout his minor league or professional baseball career, I should say, right? I don't think it's an impossible idea to get Kristian Campbell over there at first base. I don't think he'd be bad at first base. I also don't think it would take him incredibly long to figure out how to play first base. He's got the frame for it. He's a taller dude. The right-handed stuff, I really don't super care about whether or not my first baseman's right-handed or left-handed. It's obviously easier if you're a lefty, but I think you'd still get the job done as a righty, as we've seen sometimes in the past, right? Kevin Youkilis is a great example of that, but I kind of love this. The Red Sox are trying to find a solution at first base, and if that solution is fitting Marcelo Mayer's bat into this lineup, I'm absolutely 100% for it, even if it means, hey, Kristian Campbell on paper isn't going to be as valuable this year as if he were over at second base. At the end of the day, though, I love this move. I think the Red Sox needed to do something, and this is absolutely something being done. I don't know how it's going to work out. We don't even know if this is going to end up being a thing. It could just simply be, hey, we need to just simply get you out there just in case, right? There's been no official announcement. There's been no sort of conversation, at least publicly, about Kristian Campbell being the Red Sox first baseman for the foreseeable future, or I should say the rest of the season. But this is a really good sign, right? This is a really good sign things are changing, and this is exactly what we've been asking for. We've been asking for help in the bullpen. We've been asking solutions for this lineup, or even not even solutions for this lineup. They just scored a bunch of runs. We're asking for at least something to get excited about with this Red Sox team right now. Getting a new bullpen arm in here and making moves that would allow you to call up a top 10 prospect in the sport and a guy who's been sort of the face of the big three for a very long time now would absolutely be a part of that. So I'm absolutely pumped about this. Again, is it the best case scenario? No. Is it a scenario I can get behind? 100%. I'm sure the jerseys are out by now. I hope you guys enjoy them. Maybe we'll talk about them tomorrow. If you guys do want a video on them, let me know in the comment section down below. But as always, if you made it to the end of this video, do me a favor. Make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you're new here, we talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Also, make sure you guys have hit the like button on this video as well. It just simply helps out a ton, and it's the best way to let me know you're enjoying the content. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one, and I will see you in the red seats.